Today we are tuning the beast. Alright, so I'm actually filming this after we went out and tuned the car because I need to get you up to speed. I really didn't want to be filming a bunch of stuff while he's here, and I did film the trip and us actually tuning the car, but all the side talk and stuff, I didn't want to get in the way of actually just getting the car done and doing it. So anyways, there's a cricket in here I want to kill. Anyways, what we ended up doing is we ended up hooking the computer up to the CPU in the car and sat outside here for about 30 minutes. And we were updating firmware. And what that consists of is, turn on the ignition, upload, turn off the ignition, return on the ignition, try this, set this, turn off the ignition, turn on the ignition, set this, it was just, 30 minutes of doing all sorts of stuff, setting baselines and all that kind of stuff. Now, all the stuff that we set originally, like whatever it was, 4 months ago or whatever, when we finally figured out what all the issues were with the engine actually running, that was already set in there. And I also have some inputs and outputs that needed, that were set that we didn't want to change. So we started from that base file and then kind of cleared out all the learning stuff and then put in a base map. And then we actually went out and drove. So I'm going to kind of narrate via text throughout the video. And then hopefully you could hear us kind of bantering back and forth when we're doing certain things. And then I'll kind of catch up at the end of the video.
Try it all. Try lightning off. Sounds good over here. When the throttle's not working, right, that's when I get in trouble. Let's go back into town and do some traffic lights. Yeah, we got to get it all. Right. We got to make sure every scenario's right. car now?
What?
You having a little more fun with it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always like to do something with purpose. So having you here, it helps me learn. Like, you know, I know my boundaries, not to be stupid, but, you know, I push my boundaries further back there. Feel that gear shift is really hard now.
Is that smooth?
Yeah, smoother. There we go.
Yep.
What's funny is I let off the gas because I know it's coming. You know what I mean?
But it's not coming?
That shift is coming. So.
Oh. Let me see if I can soften it up.
Did you feel it that time?
Yeah, try that 1 to 2 shifts.
Okay.
Don't let off. Don't let off. Let it shift.
Try to be smooth. Okay. See what happens.
Remember, you gotta stop for it.
Yep.
Yeah, to get down to first.
Onto the shift.
I'm trying to soften up that 1 to 2.
Yeah. I'm hearing a like
Better?
I can do more. It's taking a loader time to shift out a second.
me to get something to drink?
I think so.
Huh?
I think so.
Okay. So I can just take this with me, and I can sit there at a table, and I can smooth things out.
Oh, so the fan's still running, huh?
Yeah, now why? That's not supposed to be. It shouldn't be.
Well,
Pull it up or push it down?
down.
Oh, I'm not pushing it far enough. Oh my goodness. Feel the air when you open the door?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's a sweat box in here until you get a little more work insulation done.
Do you think that's some kind of setting that we tweaked accidentally?
No, because the fans are not. The fans should die when the computer's off. So that's probably a. It could be a wiring issue. Do you have it wired up through air conditioning? Yet?
Yeah, but I'm not using any AC kick or any of that.
Okay.
Because I figured I got so much power, it doesn't matter. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, we'll find out. If it needs a tweak, we'll tweak it.
So part of tuning is stopping and tweaking. So it's the first restaurant stop for the car. And we are sitting in air conditioning. And we have Steve, aka Scott.
I don't know. I seem to tune better with a full stomach, so.
Yep. So we're doing a little bit of
Fine dining at McDonald's.
fine dining, yes, and smoothing of the areas. So once we get done with this, we're going to go back out and give it a test and see how it performs in city driving and all sorts of stuff.
It's just the front is very, very different. And then of course you've got like a real chassis.
Right. I think that's what really makes the difference.
Yeah, it just looks great. I mean, it's just super, super nice. I love the suspension, the way that the shocks work with the upper.
Right. Coilovers.
It's really cool.
It's a beast.
Yep. Now you got to tear it all back apart, right?
No, I gotta tear the whole body off the car and then pull the seat out and then do the wiring for real, stuff it up there, get the HVAC going, but all the bottom panels underneath and everything, all that stuff is finished.
So the main point of this is, hey, it works. Now we can do it. Okay, so before you start it, just give me ignition only. Let me write the changes I just made. That took a while to build fuel pressure. Send to ECU.
It does have, it's flowing back and forth.
Okay, shut the ignition off, please. And back on. Good to go. Oh, earplugs.
Oh yeah, shit.
Where are they at?
I'm turning off, okay?
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. It was a good call, you mentioning that one before we left the house. Okay, go ahead and start it again. That's a better start. Before it started kind of low.
You can see the other one.
I just set your throttle to 30%.
Oh, okay.
Just to try it out. Back up to 100.
This will go right back to my house. Of course, I can't see if I have a turn light or not.
You got a yellow flashing arrow.
Thank you.
Yep, you're good.
Super smooth.
That's what I want to hear. Smooth.
Yeah. It feels nice to have that power.
Oh yeah.
It's a beautiful sound. Yeah, I can't tell you
It starts dropping gears at certain vehicle speeds.
Okay.
So I can tell you exactly.
Back rear, I always worry about. Okay, so what do you want?
Go ahead, shut it off. So when we're all done here, you can kind of see these. Yeah, I don't know if you can see 2%, 1%, 2%.
Yeah.
These are your learn numbers after the map is correct. You know, there's a very, very small correction to no correction. When I first got into this car,
And that's at some crazy RPM.
well, your RPM is here and your load is here.
Okay.
I was just showing you when I first got into this car. You know, we were 20% off over here. We were 20% off up here.
Right.
We were 15% off. It was, you know, just kind of a mess, which is pretty typical of you know what it is.
Right.
So once it's all mapped, now our correction is very, very minimal. So it'll make very small corrections all the time instead of massive corrections.
Okay.
And you eliminate a lot of that inconsistency, you know,
Okay.
like coming off stoplights and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just smoother, basically.
Sure.
Okay, so I have a file saved for you, which is that file. I've got a file saved that just says 30%.
Can we do a 40 and 50?
We sure can.
And that way I could just
Yep.
pick over time.
Flip your key on, please. Flip your ignition on, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't start it, just ignition on.
Just don't got my AirPods in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and shut it off.
So
Well,
yeah.
that went quite well, actually.
Cool.
Yep, it did. It went quite well.
And you didn't have to go to the hospital.
No, I didn't.
You didn't have to hop out of the car.
No, you know what? This car's not scary at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it looks like an old roadster, but it's a race car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is not my
Oh,
dad's.
so you were kind of worried that it was like
I was thinking,
shootsy old
well,
frame
I'm my dad's 32 Ford. That's what I was expecting to get into.
I see.
Now, this is not my dad's 32 Ford.
No.
Not even close
No.
at all. This is
Full racing spec.
yeah, this is a race car. I mean, you can just tell, you can tell everything about it. It's not my dad's piece of shit.
It's funny too, because when I talk to people, I'm like, yeah, this is not a wooga wooga. You know,
no,
this
not at
ain't
all.
that.
No, I'm actually pretty impressed with how this car drives and tracks, and it burns out fairly straight. I mean, everything about it is, this car will easily go 100 safely, no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, not a problem at all.
And you know what? That was a big selling point for me. If I'm going to be in something, I want it to be safe.
Well, I mean,
And having that racing suspension and everything, that's...
yeah, and I mean, if you're going to build something, why not just build something really nice?
Right.
So there was a good chunk of maybe 30 to 45 minutes in the beginning of driving that I actually didn't film because I didn't really know what to expect, and I should have probably been filming anyways, but I didn't. And you know, originally we were doing consistent drives, like 45 miles per hour, just keep it steady the whole way, make sure everything's running smooth. And then we went and we're doing actually like burnouts because we were having an issue with a hesitation between pushing the pedal and the car taking off. So it'd be like, you know, and take off like that. And it took like 10 or 15 tries to like get those hesitations slowly taken out to where it was like you just hit the gas and it went. And in the middle of that process was me slamming on the pedal. And it got to a point where, you know, he was like, I want you to like freaking just slam on the pedal all the way to the ground. And I was like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. And so I'd like slam the pedal down and you know, just the tires are just burning and burning and burning, like, you know, 40 feet burning. And I'm holding the car straight as it's like trying to slide around. And then I turned to him and go like, yeah, I didn't get to the ground yet. You know, he's like, all right, let's try it again, you know, because I was like scared. Because this is not something I normally do. And so then, you know, I hit it all the way to the ground and just held it till we were doing like 80 miles per hour on a side road. And that's when we came around the second time and it was like, hey, check out the tracks that we saw. So that was kind of cool and a lot of fun. And I learned a lot just from having someone in the car push me to what I needed to do to get the car tuned. So I felt comfortable doing it. We were in the middle of nowhere with no other cars around. The highway was next to us, but there was no, you know, cars. And if there was a car, we let it pass by and kept going. So that first, you know, 45 minutes or whatever, we didn't film, and then came back around and started filming. Now, that was getting the high performance kind of done. And then there was a few times where we went, you know, super high speed to try to get that going, like putting the pedal to the ground. But then once we started driving into the city, it was all about, where's it shifting? Is it stalling at a street light? I was having major problems where every time I took a left turn, or I was sitting at a stoplight and then I took a left turn, I would just feel too hard of a shift, almost like someone's like running into you. And while you're turning and you're holding the gas and the car goes like this, your foot bounces off the gas and you're just all over the place. And so for me, I wanted to get it to, it was like totally silky smooth going through those corners. And so you saw we spent a lot of time doing that. And that's where I come back around to, there's no reason for me personally to go on a dyno. And this type of tuning, when it comes to those shifts and all that stuff, you don't really get that on a dyno. You get like, you know, they'll give you 6 passes on a dyno at top speed and then you're done and get off my dyno. Well, that doesn't help you tune the car for the street. And so since I'm not ever going to drag race, and even if I was drag racing on the street, I think I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not drag racing for pinks or anything like that, but I'm just saying that I have the car where it's a lot of fun to drive, and the power and everything is a great balance for, in fact, it was shocking. As he was tuning stuff, sometimes you saw I was silent because I'm like, I don't know, is that better? Is that not better? It's totally freaking different than it was before. Is that good or is that bad? You know, and it was just like, it was sometimes shockingly different just with a few tweaks of the mouse. And so I really had to know what I want and get it to where I wanted to go, because we can make it a grandma car or we can make it a total race car and somewhere in between. And so as we started getting the shifts really smooth, all of a sudden it was like too smooth. And I was like, no, that's not cool. Let's stiffen that up a little bit. And then all of a sudden it started shifting long. Well, that wasn't cool. I don't want that. I don't want it to be lingering. I like jabbing up to a speed and then freaking kicking back and letting it coast. I'm not about, you know, hanging on that speed because I'm not ready to jab the gas and go. And if I do, I don't mind that millisecond of the car downshifting to go. It's not a big deal for me. So, you know, if you are drag racing and stuff like that, by all means, go to a dyno. But for me, it was everything but the dyno is what I'm all about. Now, my guy, whose name's Steve, it's not Scott. It's kind of an inside joke on that one. All the file names when he originally came over, I put down as Scott because I thought his name was Scott and it was Steve. So anyways, so I was like, Steve, aka Scott. But in any case, I'm going to kill these crickets. It's getting worse and worse. Like the louder I get, the louder they get. And they won't stop when I make loud noises. So anyways, you know, he'll actually take me to a dyno if I wanted to get that last 10-20% of the high end, you know, around the 6,000 RPM. We're doing 120, you know, and yeah, we could have done that on the highway and all that stuff. But I told him up front, I said, you know, that's not my thing. And I'm willing to do whatever you need me to do. But if I get the car up to 80 miles per hour and everything's doing pretty good, like I don't really care about doing 6,000 RPMs and 120 miles per hour or any of that stuff. It literally doesn't matter to me. And I'm sure the car will perform fine up there when I'm up there, if I'm ever up there, as it self-tunes its little, you know, few percentage. it's just not my thing. My range of fun is between 10 and 60 miles per hour. It's accelerating fast, getting the sound of the engine, and then that just nice purr and hum as you're coasting, doing 45 or whatever down the street, going across town or whatever. So that's kind of my deal and kind of what I like. So I'm really happy. I haven't taken the car out since. I've been kind of busy lately. So I can't wait to like pull up that tune, and hopefully it's everything that, you know, it was when it was the other day. I don't see why it wouldn't be. And, you know, originally I thought this wasn't coming until 2 months later, and we were able to get it in. So now it's all about getting some miles on the car and getting that front panel put in. And once we get that done, you know, we're going to actually start moving again on the car. So I'm really psyched about it. So until next time, I hope you really enjoyed this, and have a great day. Die, cricket.